Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
It's wonderful to see all of you who are in the sanctuary with us tonight, and Shabbat Shalom to those of you who are joining us from home. Tonight is a very bittersweet Shabbat. It's sweet because it's Shabbat. It's bitter because it's the last Shabbat that we'll have with the Cohen Kedem family with us. They'll still be in Sacramento on and off for a month, but this is our last Shabbat to celebrate with them. And so it is with heavy hearts that we welcome you into this space tonight, but it's also with hearts filled with joyous memories of a year that was a delight and interesting and meaningful. One of the things that Rabbi Galit did through her teachings was, in essence, sing a new song. She sang her Judaism through a distinctly Israeli accent, and not just the voice, but the flavor as well. And so let's begin tonight on page 648 with Shir Chadash. Sing unto God, all the earth, a new song. I will sing unto God a new song.
Shiru l'Adonai, shiru shir chadash, shiru l'Adonai, kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai, shiru shir chadash, shiru l'Adonai, kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai, barechu shemo, basru meyom leyom Yeshuato. Shiru l'Adonai, barechu shemo, basru beyom Yeshuato. Shiru l'Adonai, shiru shir chadash, shiru l'Adonai, kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai, shiru shir chadash, Adonai, kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai, barechu shemo, basru meyom leyom Yeshuato. Shiru l'Adonai, barechu shemo, basru meyom leyom Yeshuato.
So let's take a moment to welcome each other, to greet each other with a Shabbat Shalom, and introduce ourselves to at least two people that we didn't know when we came in tonight. And for those of you who are joining us from home, greet each other online. So I hate to interrupt all the wonderful conversations that are going on, but the Sabbath Queen awaits our invitation. We continue with Lachad Odi on page 138. And when I say, please join me, that means sing, because I couldn't hear you before. So please join us. Page 138.
Lecha lecha dodi, ligrat gala, pene pene Shabbat nikabela. Lecha lecha dodi, ligrat gala, pene pene Shabbat nikabela. La 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 lecha dodi, ligrat gala, pene pene Shabbat nikabela. Lecha lecha dodi, ligrat gala, pene pene Shabbat nikabela. שמור וזכור ודיבור אחד. השמיענו אל גם יוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. לשם תפארת ולתהילה, לה 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 לה. חדותי לקראת גאלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה. חדותי לקראת גאלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה. סוף מעשה במחשבה, תחי לה 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 לה. לחדותי לקראת גאלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת גאלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, אורי שיר דברי. כבוד אדוני היה לי, נגלה לה 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 לה. לך דודי לקראת גאלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת גאלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה. בואי בשלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, לה 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 לה. לך דודי לקראת גאלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת גאלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה. לה 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 לה. לך דודי לקראת גאלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת גאלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה.
It is my pleasure to invite up the Cohen Kedem family to do us the honor of lighting the Shabbat candles. And as they come up, we will first continue on page 142 with Lecha Dodi.
Shalom Aleichem.
Oh, wow. You know, I was so enjoying Lecha Dodi, I thought we would do it twice, keep prayer a little bit longer. But you're right, the angels are also knocking at the door. So we'll continue with Shalom Aleichem instead of continuing with the Lecha
Knocking on
Dodi.
heaven's door. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hashari, Malachei Elyon, Mimele, Malachei Amlachi, Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimele, Malachei Hamlachi, Hakadosh Baruch Hu.
Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner, lehadlik ner, lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us, as their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light. So may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Amen.
Thank you.
Baruchuni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mimele Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seidkem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mimele Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
We rise for the Baruch Hu on page 146.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Amvorach. Baruch Adonai Amvorach Leolam Vaed.
Before we continue with the Ma'ariv Aravim, I realized I forgot to do something very important, which was to explain why Cantor Steinberg's not here, because I forgot you all can't read my brain. So one of the things that we've taken very, very seriously throughout the last year and a half is COVID. Cantor, we don't think has COVID. However, that second little line on the COVID test was very lightly pink, and we don't want to risk anything. And so Cantor returned home to make sure that she does not share any unwanted closeness, let's put it that way, or droplets with all of us. And Rabbi Galit, I know you had a chance to see her on your way out, and she is very, very sad and very frustrated that she can't be here with you tonight, with all of you tonight. But I want to make sure everybody else knows she's fine. She's going to be fine. She feels fabulous, but we take the test very seriously. We continue together on page 149. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. We continue on page 150.
Who knows how long I've loved you? Who knows I love you still? I could wait a lonely lifetime. If you want me to, I will. Love you forever and forever. Love you with all my heart. Love you whenever we're together. Love you when we're apart. And when at last I find you, our song will fill the air. Make it loud so I can hear you. Make it easy to be near you. For the things you do endear you to me, oh, you know I will. And if I never saw you, I didn't catch your name, but it never really mattered. I will always feel the same. Love you forever and forever. Love you with all my heart. Love you whenever we're together. Love you when we're apart. And when at last I find you, Our song will fill the air. Make it loud so I can hear you. Make it easy to be near you. For the things you do endear you to me. Oh, you know I will. Lie, die, 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 die. Lie, die, 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 die. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Ba'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Ba'ed.
Please join us with the Ve'ahavta on page 154.
As soon as I find it. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh Asher Anochi Metzacha Hayom Al Levavecha Veshinantam Levanecha Vedibarta Baham Beshivtecha Bavetecha Uvlechtecha Vaderech Uvshachbecha Uvkumecha וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אמת.
Please join with me on the top of page 157. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there, except by joining hands and marching together.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא והילו עושה פלא, נורא והילו עושה פלא. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה. זה אלי ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
In the mornings, I like to go for a walk with my dog. And it's been increasingly clear in recent weeks that the homeless situation is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. There's more evidence in new places of people using boxes for homes, barely gathering together some sort of shelter to keep them safe. We're told that Elijah the prophet wanders the world as a homeless person, seeing if society is ready for redemption and judging us by how we treat the most vulnerable in our society. As I walk through the streets of Sacramento, it is clear that we are not ready for redemption because we haven't done the work that we need to do to get us there. So as we pray the Hashkivenu, and we ask God to give us shelter, let's remind ourselves that if we want to merit shelter, we must share what we have with others. Now is not the time for us to be quiet or complacent, but rather to yell out loud, to write letters, to make it clear to our elected officials that this is a situation that all of us need to address. It's not for just religious groups, it's not for just one part of society. These people are our neighbors, literally our neighbors living just off of our campus here at B'nai Israel. So let's not make these empty words. Rather, let's make ourselves partners with God and find a way so that every person can lie down safely at night, knowing that they can arise safely in the morning. Page 160.
Oh, guide my steps, help me find my way. I need your shelter now. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps. Help me make this day a song of praise to you. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps. Ufros aleinu sukkah shlomecha. Ufros aleinu sukkah shlomecha. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps.
So as I look out across this room, I have to say I am delighted that I see a number of my former students who are with us tonight. And they're about to be so mortified because I see all three of you, and I'm going to invite you guys up instead of our current B'nai Mitzvah class. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Erica. Yeah, and Mackenzie. Yeah, don't look over near this way, Marin. I'm going to invite the three of you to come and join us to help lead us in Vishamru and the Tefillah, because I know you know these prayers. And I know you know how to sing, even more importantly.
Veshamru b'nei Yisrael HaShabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל לעשות את השבת לדורותם בריאת עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, את השבת לדורותם בריאת עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם בריאת עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם בריאת עולם.
Please rise. No, you guys sing beautifully, and three of you are better than one of me into this microphone. Please rise and join us for the tefillah beginning on page 164.
Adonai shefatai titaku v'yadi tehiltecha. Adonai, open my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekoneh Hakol, Vezocher Kasei Avot v'Imahot, Umevii Geula livnei bneihem, Leman Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach u'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, b'chayei hakol, atah rav lehoshia, morid hatal, mechalkel chayim b'chesed, mechayei hakol berachamim rabim, somech nofli verofeh cholim, umatir asuim, umekayem emunato b'shenei afar, michamocha bal geburot, umidom elav, melech melit umechayeh, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman atah lechayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kdoshim b'chol yom yehelu kasela. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
We continue praying privately from page 172 through 180, either standing or sitting, as is your custom.
say shalom bimroma. Uya say shalom alein ve'alko Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Oh, say shalom bimroma. Uya say shalom alein ve'alko Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Oh, say shalom bimroma. Uya say shalom alein ve'alko Israel ve'imeru amen. Oh, say shalom bimroma. Uya say shalom alein ve'alko Israel ve'imeru amen.
Our thoughts and our prayers now turn towards those who are in need of healing, a healing of body or a healing of spirit. Please join us on page 371.
Misheberach Avotenu Mekor Habracha Imotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheberach imotenu Mekor habracha avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. You gonna tell them what happened?
Oh, yeah. So I'm sure those of you in the room heard what we were hearing, but those of you watching from home may not have understood the strange looks on our faces. Everything's fine. But in the middle of the Mishaberach, we heard some blood-curdling screams that came from a very familiar, if not very short, source. And we were concerned that perhaps he was in need not of healing, but of rescuing. Turns out he's fine.
He was locked out.
Yes, he was locked out, and we knew that all was fine when we saw him dancing a little dance through the glass door. So all is fine, and no worries. Yeah, all is good. All is good. So last summer, when Rabbi Galit came to the United States, I said to her, I think a really great experience for Hodaya would be to be in confirmation. Even though Hodaya was in 9th grade and we do confirmation in 10th grade, I said there's nothing in Israel that she's going to have that's like this, because it is a distinctly American Jewish tradition. And she's like, I don't know, maybe not. I'll talk to Hodaya, I'll see if she wants to do it. But I knew Hodaya was going to say yes because she was not going to say no to an opportunity to study. That's just the type of person that she is, that if her brother is nodding right now, that if there was another opportunity to learn, to discuss, to expand her horizon, I knew that she would be a part of it. And throughout this year, I had the pleasure of being able to study with her each and every week, and she was an absolute delight in class. It made it a lot easier to teach about Israel by having a real-life Israeli in the room who could speak much better than I could to both current and historical realities. And so when she said, "I'd like to do another drash," I said, of course. Who would say no to a young woman wanting to be able to share her experiences? So it is with great joy that I invite up Hodaya Cohen Kedem to give the drash for this evening.
Shabbat Shalom. So today I would like to share with you some thoughts about the weekly portion, Behalotcha, but really to think out loud about how I should behave around people who engage in gossip. You're probably wondering how does it even, like it's the Torah, what's gossip? Like it doesn't even make sense that it's like connected, but it is. So as a 15-year-old girl, I'm surrounded on a daily basis with gossip of all kinds. Social media, conversation with friends, and every get-together that I have with any types of friends in any language, any country. And I'm not sure if it's all bad gossip or it's bad in general, but it's actually kind of natural and age-appropriate and even kind of fun. So gossip is a way to create a sense of intimacy. You know you're a part of a group if you're included in the gossip, in the tea, how we like to call it. So why is this even a problem, like to gossip or to talk about other people behind their back? So this Torah portion faces us with gossip and its consequences. Miriam, Moses' older sister, shares with her other brother, Aaron, her concerns about Moses' marriage, and she comments about his VIP relationships with God. The Torah agrees that she's not lying. Indeed, Moses married, and some say divorced, Zipporah, who was from the nation of Midian and the land of Cush. She was not one of the Israelites. And she was different, and some say very beautiful. Is that why Miriam felt needed to judge him in front of her brother? Furthermore, why can't she just talk to Moses directly? Perhaps it was jealousy, or maybe since he got married, she felt left out. Maybe Miriam was worried that Moses was making a mistake and not showing a personal example by marrying out of the tribe. In any case, she had strong feelings and she didn't share them with the right brother. So what did Aaron do? We don't know. Torah says, "Vatedaber Miriam ve'Aaron," which in Hebrew is a weird sentence because "vatedaber" is the female form of the verb to talk, so it means she said. But the verse specifically mentions Aaron, so why is not included in the sentence? Okay, but even though it was only Miriam who was actually punished, we know that both Aaron and Miriam were reprimanded by God. God set them straight. How then did you not shrink from speaking against my servant Moses? God comes out of his one-of-a-kind relationship with Moses that cannot be compared with any other prophet. Who am I in this situation? Sometimes I believe I am Moses. Other people probably talk about me. I'm not gonna lie, maybe sometimes I'm in Miriam's position. After all, like Miriam, I'm the older sister of 2 brothers as well. But the most of the time, I'm in Aaron's positions. I just stand there, listen, and I don't encourage the conversation, but to be honest, I'm not disencourage it either. By standing there and listening, I become an accomplice or an enabler. I might not get leprosy, but I will get trouble with God. So this is my conclusion. I take upon myself to be more aware of these moments, and sometimes to choose to walk away or change the subject when I feel like we're talking about other people in a bad way. And I'm not sure if I can promise I will never gossip again, but I know after preparing this trash that I sure won't enjoy tea as much. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you. And before I finish here, this is my last Shabbat, and if you don't know, like I spend a lot of time in this campus this year, twice, 3 times a week at least. So thank you. I just want to thank you all really about like everything. You really made my family feel at home, and I really, really appreciate it. And I hope you will visit us in Israel and won't miss us too much. And thank you. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Great. No, Yasher Koach. Ryan, can you do me a favor? Can you get the tiny tyrant out of the kitchen and come and bring him in? Yasher Koach Hodea. I'm very excited that I'm going to have a couple of weeks at camp with you. Now, it's a weird thing to say goodbye, but in Hebrew we say lehitraot because shalom has a more permanent kind of feel to it, whereas lehitraot implies it's just for now. We'll see you later. And as I was looking at text to try to think of what I could think about to say tonight, I don't know if you've ever seen this. It's a fabulous little prayer book that the Reform Movement put out called Birkon Artzi. It's a book of blessings and meditations for travelers to Israel. Well, this year the 5 of you have been travelers to the United States. And throughout this year, you have collected memories and stories and friends and students and teachers along the way. And so as I looked at this reading by Yitzhak, I cannot say his last name, Yasinowitz, this seemed perfect to talk about the journey that you're about to embark on once again. It's entitled To Jerusalem. One does not travel to Jerusalem. One returns. One ascends the road taken by generations, the path of longing on the way to redemption. One brings rucksacks stuffed with memories to each mountain and each hill. In the cobbled white alleyways, one offers a blessing for memories of the past which have been renewed. One does not travel to Jerusalem. One returns. And on one's way to Jerusalem, if you take, I'm not sure what exit number it is, but you stop at Cholon. So on your return back to Jerusalem, as you guys stop back in your hometown, I hope you carry a little bit of us in your rucksacks. Memories of this year that have helped enlighten you and hopefully strengthen you as well. So I'd like to invite the Cohen Kedem family to the Bima. I'd like to ask the congregation to please rise. It was hard to figure out what is the right blessing for such an occasion. It's not the blessing for one who makes Aliyah, because how do you make Aliyah if you already live there? It's not simply a traveler's prayer, because this is much more than just taking a trip. And so instead, the prayer that I came upon was the Misha Berach on behalf of one traveling to Israel. Because while you do live in Israel, as we have been reminded throughout the year, part of you will also always live here. And that is actually the real reason why Hodaya took confirmation this year, was so that she could live forever in our Heritage Hall in one of the pictures, one of the confirmation class pictures. But you'll also live here in all of our hearts. Mishaberach Avotenu Abraham, Yitzhak, v'Yaakov, Imotenu Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, v'Leah. May the one who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless the Cohen Kedem family, who is about to fulfill the mitzvah of returning to the land of Israel. May you journey there safely and reach your destination in the land of Israel in peace. May you return safely one day to us, though. May our and our God's blessings be with you as you journey through the land of our ancestors, where our brothers and sisters today strive to rebuild and revitalize the Holy Land by building sacred communities, exemplifying our highest ideals as Jews. And may the Holy One of blessing deliver you from all trouble and all distress. May you find blessing and success in all you undertake, together with all of the people of Israel, finding inspiration and renewal in the people and in our land. And let us say, Amen. Please be seated. Oh, well, he could be in our spare room. So, I know that you have barely enough room to take home your own belongings, but this should be able to fit in somebody's backpack on the way.
Or my pocket.
The money is not for you, my dear. You got that for your bar mitzvah. No, what we have in here are 5 $1 bills, because if you are engaging in an act of tzedakah, it will protect you on the way. You may know of a congregation that might be able to use some of this money, so find a worthy home for it. We also have we have 5 different Tefillat HaDerech prayers for you to keep in your wallets, and a beer cone artsy, just in case you're looking for that perfect prayer to say when you land in Israel. And what rabbi can't use yet another prayer book? And you notice it all comes beautifully wrapped in this Ziploc bag, because we expect you to return. And as you know, when members of our community return from the land of Israel, we ask that you bring a little sand. So maybe, I understand in a place called Cholon, there may be a little bit of sand that you could gather up and to bring back for us. So Nisiya Tova. Thank you. Where's my high five? Thank you. Ellie, you don't have to, but if you want to say anything, the mic is yours. Yeah, that's for you, honey. Yay. Wait till he finds out it's a prayer book.
The Hebrew word for lehitraot comes in a reflective mode, a specific form of verb, which means that it's reciprocating, and it's a two-sided or a two-folded action. So I really do feel that we are leaving a second home, and home is a place you always come back to. And I hope this year we managed to shrink a little bit the distance between Cholon and Sacramento and Israel and the United States. We have been overjoyed with the generosity, emotional and any other generosity that we've encountered here. You've opened your hearts and your homes to us. You are truly like the tent of Abraham and Sarah, and you can teach many, many congregations and individuals in among the Jewish people of what Hachnasat Orchim is, what it means to greet a guest amongst you. Thank you for your open hearts. Thank you for your curiosity. Thank you for teaching us new forms of worship and new forms of repairing the world. It's been an empowering and a year of growth. And I really hope that you are blessed with all the blessings that you have poured on us this year. Toda rabah. Shabbat shalom.
I'd also like to invite up Rachel Stern, our Vice President of Education. There you are. And Josh Mastronardi, the President of our congregation.
Okay, I'm making sure the mic's on. Mic's on. Okay, got it. I just have a few words to say on behalf of the board. Galit and the Kedem Cohen family, you all hit the ground running and you didn't stop once. This started before you even got here. I just want to tell a little story that I think about all the time that many people are not probably aware of. When we created an interim search committee to figure out, if we could find an educator for the year, it was put together very quickly, and we conducted an interview with you pretty last minute. Between Israel being 10 hours ahead of California and the fact that you literally zoomed into the interview from your bomb shelter, I think that kind of set the tone for the year. It was clear that our religious school experience was going to be one for the books. You just knocked it out of the park with the interview, and we were all kind of like, is she really in a bomb shelter? Like, should we reschedule? And you're like, nah, it's fine. And it was fine, it was great. You immediately got to know our congregation, not just seeing people occasionally, but in a deep, personal way. We all immediately felt embraced by you and your family. Your incredible work ethic toward making sure our education programs didn't just continue during your tenure, which in all honesty was what we were hoping for during that interview, that we would have a caretaker for a year while a search was conducted for a permanent replacement. But Galit, our programs thrived. They grew, we innovated, they were something that we could all be proud of. We experimented, we refocused, and we continued to create a community of learners who were proud to be Jewish and proud to be CBI members. I thought we'd be teaching you and your family a few things, and we did, in addition to the things that you mentioned. You learned some English slang, some English insults, always a good thing. I believe you also learned how to turn right on a red light, if I'm not mistaken. But what we've learned from the Cohen-Kedem family are lessons that we will build on for years to come. How to bloom where you're planted. How to be a reform liberal Jew at the same time. How to discuss race, racism, and ethnicity with kids. How to have a joyful, meaningful bar mitzvah in a foreign country and give a hilarious drash in a foreign language. And somehow that a kindergartner who 10 months ago I think knew like 3 English words can learn the pronunciation of dinosaurs in English so well that he will correct you repeatedly when you discuss them with him. Thank you for spending this year with us. I've joked for months about confiscating your passports. It's sort of a joke, I'm not really sure, probably joking. The American branch of your family has grown by 600 family units. And we love you and appreciate you and will miss you very, very much. And I didn't cry, so there we go.
Awesome. Thank you, Rachel, and I'll say ditto to all that. And I just wanted to add that not only did we get an amazing rabbi and educator, we got a Dar, who's also an amazing educator and taught many programs, Hodea, who integrated into the teen scene, learned some slang, and the confirmation class. We got to celebrate Uri's bar mitzvah with the family, and we got an inquisitive child who brought life and spirit to our sanctuary, and we really appreciate that. I want to thank the rabbi and Michael and Cantor, who's with us in spirit, if not physically right now. I want to thank you, Hodaya, for that wonderful drash. That was actually, Baha Lotacha was actually my portion for my bar mitzvah just a few years ago. And I want to say that if you're looking for the CBI gossip, the best place to go is the Hadashot. That's all the goings on, all the things. It's our little secret, but you're all in the know. We have an oneg in the courtyard after services. Tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. Torah study. On next Tuesday, the Racial Justice, Lifelong Learning, and Israel Committees are presenting an anti-racism education program. That's at 6:30 in the chapel and on Zoom. Next Friday, Shabbat, is Kavanah style with Denny Deutsch-Marshall leading in the Erev Shabbat service. Camp Shalanu starts the week after that on the 27th. Registration's still open, and they're also still hiring, so visit the website for all the details. I wanted to mention that through the beginning of August, Rabbi is at camp and on vacation, and Cantor is on vacation some of those times. So the best thing to do for anything you need is to contact the CBI office, and we'll make sure that that you get the support you need. Now I'd like to ask any board members, past presidents, committee chairs to stand up and introduce yourselves, and executive directors too.
Michael Hersher, Lifelong Learning.
All right, thank you all, and Shabbat Shalom.
As Josh said, I'm going to be at camp actually starting tomorrow, so I have to apologize in advance. I'm not going to be able to join everyone at the Oneg tonight because I'm actually not supposed to be here. They don't want us to be in big crowds, but it's kind of part of the job description. So if I sneak out, it's only reflective of me really wanting to be able to go to camp and not get sick. I just realized I need a prayer book. That would be useful, wouldn't it?
I'll share mine.
It's too far away. We continue now with our concluding prayers, beginning with the Aleinu, which can be found on the bottom half of page 586. Please rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הרצון, ולא שמענו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבבך. כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. Our thoughts now turn to loved ones who are no longer with us. And it is with profound sadness that we announce the recent passing of Marla Haskell Newton, who was the beloved sister of Debbie Haskell and beloved brother-in-law of Ven Mendoza, and a member of our congregation for many, many years. Debbie and Ven, I don't know if you and your sons are watching us from home tonight, but on behalf of the congregation, we extend our condolences to you and to your family. There was a sweetness to Marla that I missed when she moved out of state, and I know that she was a very adored younger sister to you and a beloved sister-in-law to you, Ven, and our condolences to all of you. Zichrona livracha, may her memory forever be a blessing. We also recall memories of those who passed away at this time in years past, and we remember Jacob Albert, Maurice Attia, Solomon Bellinson, Ethel Perlis Berliner, Benjamin Bulos, Tom Cottingim, Ann Emick, Joyce Feldstein, Harold Forrester, bless you, Barbara Friedman, Michael Goldstein, Alan Green, Alan Grousfeld, Mac Hall, Gary Hamill, Hilda Herscher, Rose Cash, Ann Katz, Jean Kaufman, Lila Klempner, Bernard Koretsky, Wayne Koster, Gerald Kubel, Fred Lamphere, Robert Laws, Sarah Leibowitz, Ruth Levin, Edward McCandless, John McElhaney, Sadie Mitchell, Claire Mix, Henry Newberger, Shirley Nicodemus, Aubrey Penman, Ginny Reines, Jeffrey Roden, Robert Rosenberg, Rosa Schwab, Dorothy Schwartz, Edith Ten, Marvin Tincher, Harold Trimble, Leo Wallen, Sheila Weckstein, Philip Wiener, David Udell, and Louis Zimmerman. If there are any names that anyone would like to add to the Kaddish list, please feel free to say those names aloud as my gaze meets yours. I'd like to invite those who are saying Kaddish for a loved one to please rise. And I ask the congregation to please join me in these words of comfort. Hamakom yenechem etchem b'tok sha'ar of Leitzion v'Yushalayim. May God comfort you among the mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. We rise as a congregation to offer comfort to those who grieve as we continue together with the Mourners Kaddish on page 598. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divra hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'gala uv'yizman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam umei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitraman v'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, v'yitale, v'yitalal, shemei dekudesha, barichu, le'elam yinkol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Osei shalom b'mirmav, hu ya'aseh shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us all say, amen. Please be seated. So, Michael, it looks like you have something special for us tonight, perhaps?
You can be the judge. So as I have a couple times during this year, I took an old song and I made it into a shir chadash. And so this is one especially for y'all. on your way back. And I tried to work Lehitraot into the song, but it didn't scan right. So I used Shalom. And those of you who know this old Woody Guthrie song, the rabbi spoke earlier about homeless people. There are always homeless people. This is not a new thing. There's always someone in the world who's going without. And there was a time in this country in the 1920s and 30s when the Dust Bowl struck the West, the Midwest and the West, and thousands upon thousands of people pulled up stakes and moved to California, thinking they were going to find jobs here. Most didn't. But Woody Guthrie wrote this song about saying goodbye. And you're going to sing it with me because you're going to figure this out right away. Okay, it goes, Shalom, it's been good to know you. Shalom, it's been good to know you. Shalom, it's been good to know you. It's been a great year, but now it is done, and you got to go back to Holon. You came here for a year, probably feels more like 10. You shored up our program of education. Your kids all learned English. Adar taught us a ton. Now you're going back home to Holon, singing Shalom, it's been good to know ya. Shalom, it's been good to know ya. Shalom, it's been good to know ya. It's been a great year, but now it is done, and you've got to go back to Holon. We've had some good laughs. Your wisdom you shared. We learned and we davened. Our souls we all bared. Now the year's over. Your work here is done. You're heading back home to Holon. Shalom, it's been good to know ya. Shalom, it's been good to know ya. Shalom, it's been good to know ya. It's been a great year, but now it is done, and you've got to go back to Holon. One more time. Shalom, it's been good to know ya. Shalom, it's been good to know ya. Shalom, it's been good to know ya. It's been a great year, but now it is done, and you've got to go back to Holon.
So I want to invite the Cohen Kedem family up here one more time to do us the honor of leading the congregation in the Kiddush and the Motzi before, after which I hope everybody joins them in the courtyard so that you could all share your fond memories with them as well. Come on over here, sweetie. Oh, he appeared. Oh, do you want to? Yeah, you could start with Vayachol. Do whatever. Do your thing. You could do it.
ויערב ויהי בוקר יום השישי, ויחול השמיים והארץ וכל צבעם, ויחל אלוהים ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישפוט ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה, ויברך אלוהים ביום השביעי ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא פרי הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וצוונו, ושבת קודשו בעבר רצון הנחילנו, זיכרון למעשה בראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקרה קודש, זכר יציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת, אותנו קידשת, מכל העמים ופילו בשבת קודשך, באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
careful as you drink. Are you driving tonight?
לחיים. ושלום.
זה יין, זה יין.
זה לא כדאי.
זה
אתה
יין.
תעשה, בוא תעשה, אתה תעשה. One more blessing.
עברי, תורך.
One more blessing.
Okay, so we have a warning with the challah that I was told not to whoosh it as we normally do. Because as you know, one of the things that Dean and Ryan liked to do during COVID was to surprise Michael and the cantor and myself with special halot themed for that Shabbat. So very gently lift up the challah.
Things like googly eyes and stuff. Oh.
And we have a specially themed
Oh.
halot. I don't know if you guys can see.
And see, Uri's has bacon on it.
Love you. I think it's a
It's very tasty,
I
you know.
think it's a soccer ball. You're still on the beam of my
Oh, sorry.
It's a soccer ball. So, okay, so shall we motzi? And then we're going to probably want to take a picture of it. Baruch atah Adonai.
Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Shabbat shalom. Please join us for the
We
opening.
love that song. Perfect song. You're so good. You're so good. Please do. Please, please, please.
No, but I love that you rehearsed it.
That's hilarious. Ryan, this is perfect. Hilarious.
Oh, wait, you have it upside down.
Oh, it was the rainbow stuff.
Hilarious. I love it.
And I had an Oreo specifically for Ivry.
That is so
Ivry!
You don't like Oreos, can I have
No, can I? Oh.